What is going on, guys? It is Xavier here with X-VSN. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys the 5 basic steps on how to sell an item on eBay. eBay has become a top side hustle for myself and a lot of others in 2019. There's different ways to sell, whether you want to sell stuff out of your house that you don't use anymore, or you want to do some flipping, you want to go around to thrift shops and your local Walmart and find stuff that's priced cheap and sell it more on eBay. There's tons of different ways to go about this, but I'm going to give you guys the 5 basic steps on how to sell an item on eBay. So step number 1, you're going to need to create your accounts. You're going to need to create an eBay account and a PayPal account. You're going to have to link them together, and when you sell an item on eBay, all the transactions go through PayPal, and then you can transfer it from PayPal to your bank or however you want to do it. But yeah, that's step number 1. It's pretty self-explanatory on how to link them together. So yeah, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is going to be pricing your item. Figuring out what to price your item for is very important. So the best way to go about this is to find your item you want to sell, look it up on eBay. Chances are someone has sold one like it or is selling one like it. So the best way to do it is you find the item on eBay, you go to sold listing and completed listing. There you're going to see the history of all those items that have sold. The exact item that you're selling, you're going to see different sellers, its history on what they sold it for and when they sold it. So what you want to do is find a good average in between there. You don't want to sell it for the most, especially if you're a new seller, and you don't want to sell it for the least unless you just want to get rid of it. But yeah, I suggest finding a good gap in between, and yeah, that's the best way to price it, especially if you're a new seller. Once you get into the game some and get a bunch of positive feedbacks, then you can start pricing it a little higher. But that's step number 2. So step number 3 is going to be listing your item. So how I told you guys that you can find the item that's sold, the same item that you have. Well, eBay has this awesome feature that's called sell one like this. So you can find that exact item that's sold and you can pretty much copy that listing. You just have to add some of your personal information into it, like the pictures of the item and the title, and it gives you a little box for a brief description about it. You want to mention if it has any defects, or it's brand new, or it's only been used once, anything just so the buyer's not surprised when they get the item, if there's any scratches on whatever it is you're selling or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much basics on how to list. If the item has never sold, which it does happen, but it's not very common, the item's never sold, then you just have to take a little bit more time and creating the listing by yourself. It's a few more steps in there, but usually you're gonna find an item that has sold like yours. So makes it a lot easier whenever you can just click that sell one like this feature. That's step number 3. Step number 4 is gonna be shipping your item. Once your item has sold, you're going to want to ship it as fast as possible. That way it can look good on you, your buyer can have the item fast. So there's a few different ways to ship your items on eBay, but the best one for myself that I typically use is going to be USPS first class. It usually comes out to be the cheapest, but it all depends on what you're selling, because they do go by weight and it does go by package size. So it just depends on the size of the item that you sold, or but typically that's what I use. USPS first class. It's fast, it's usually the cheapest, and yeah, that's usually what I use, but it just depends. So step number 5 is going to be leaving positive feedback. You're going to want to make sure you leave your buyer positive feedback. Positive feedback is very important on eBay. Chances are when you leave your buyer positive feedback, they're going to leave you positive feedback back, as long as they're happy with the item. And it doesn't hurt to reach out to the buyer and just tell them, thank you for your purchase. Please leave me positive feedback if you're pleased with the item. And it's nothing wrong with that. Sellers do that all the time. Don't think it's annoying. It might get annoying if you do it more than once. You do it 2 or 3 times. The buyer might get annoyed and possibly might leave you negative feedback. So you don't want that. So yeah, feedback is very important. So always leave your buyer positive feedback. And you can just say, buyer was friendly, it was a fast transaction, easy transaction, you know, just something to give your buyer a reason to give you positive feedback back. So yeah, that was my 5 basic steps on how to sell on eBay. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Please leave me some comments about, you know, future videos you guys want to see.